You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
Yeah, I watched today, as a matter of fact, I watched LeBron's documentary, Student Athlete. It was about so it followed, I think, four either current student athletes or former student athletes, and it was sad, man. Like, just to watch.
What was so sad about it?
So they had one kid. He was a senior, top basketball player. He was, getting looked at by a lot of different schools and things like that. And they had this one dude who played at Rutgers University, and he got hurt. I think his last, he even made it to the Bears training camp. He got hurt, so he was looking for work outside. He was working like 4 jobs.
While he was still going to school, or they took his scholarship away?
No, this is after he graduated.
Oh, this is after he graduated. Okay.
4 jobs. He was working like at 4 a.m. at I think Foot Locker or something, like just to open it up. Then he was working at a school. Then he was coaching, and then he was working at Sports Authority, Dick's Sporting Goods.
Wow.
And then living in his car, couldn't even pay rent off that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So his mentor was telling him, like, yo, you're burning yourself out, like you're literally killing yourself. And then he was still trying to work out, trying to get like a tryout somewhere, arena football, stuff like that. Then there was another dude who played at Baylor. He walked on
to Baylor squad.
Okay. Made the team, started. I think he played every game. He scored the first touchdown at Baylor's new stadium. They won a Big Ten championship or something. He was he was a walk-on, so he didn't have a scholarship. So his parents couldn't afford to pay the tuition. His friends' grandparents heard about that, right?
His friends' grandparents
heard about that. They said, listen, we know you're working hard. We want to give you some money so you could have some food to eat, place to live. $1,000, I think $1,000 a month or a week, something like that. And NCAA found out he was ineligible to play.
Oh, shit.
And then the grandparents were talking. They were like, yo, I'm not a booster. My grandson goes to that school, but I just wanted him to be able to, go to school. Yeah. And then NCAA, you know how their rules are.
So in jest, this is the NCAA taking advantage of everybody, but you can't take advantage of them. So it's the greatest Ponzi scheme going. Because for those who will say, well, you're getting a scholarship. I don't need a scholarship. I'm going to play ball. I'm going to play ball. Yeah. So this is a vehicle for me to get to that next step. And my thing is this. Most of these kids are poor. And if you're an athlete, you really got all your eggs in that one basket. You may not even be there for education. All your eggs is in this basket. So you kind of need this. They know you need this. They're making billions of dollars.
They actually make... the NCAA for football, they make more than the NFL.
Wow.
They generate more than the NFL, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, and all the teams you see are filled with black players for the most part.
Yeah.
You get some white players too. And this is another way that we are constantly being exploited. You know what I mean? No different than the music industry where they could just have an open mic session and find 2 or 3 talented people and ride them to stardom. In my book, Urban Culture Decoded, plug. I also mentioned how they create this talisman, based on the individuals. Like if it's rappers, I told you they provide the environment for the rappers to thrive. So they'll get you women and drugs and alcohol and put you in front of the studio because they know that's where the magic takes place. Even back in Quincy Jones days, right? This same formula is what it is, right? So when you see these kids today getting high and doing music, I'm not saying you can't do one or the other. You can, but it's built into the fiber. Whereas if I'm white and I need a black talisman to take me to higher places and he's a ball player, I have to create a different environment for him. I have to get him away from drugs. I have to get him away from girls. I have to get him or her away from all of that stuff. Teach them how to read and provide a situation with a steady home where he can work on his jump shot, because when he gets signed, he will then turn around and figure I was the one who made this happen. And that creates a handler situation. And we're going to talk about handlers a little bit later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. So I watched this this show. It was on Spike TV a couple years ago. It was called Blue Mountain State, right? So throughout the whole like throughout the whole season, they were wilding. You know, football team, they were wilding, doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And then at the end, like the very last, second to last episode, NCAA said like, "Yo, we found out y'all were doing all the stuff like from the past seasons. So none of y'all are eligible to play in the bowl game. They got to the national championship. None of y'all eligible to play, right?" So the main character, he was just doing all this study, and at the end he goes, "Yo, all these NCAA rules are made up." Like, he said, "Who governs this? Who governs this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and who gave y'all the power to do so?"
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the question. And it's a funny show, but then you have to like really think about that.
Absolutely.
Like,
they wield, and I believe they're a 501c3. I know the NFL is. They don't even pay taxes. All right, so this is really big money. I want to speak about the pyramid energy that I always speak about, the capstone, the detached part of the capstone. The pyramid energy is at the bottom of the pyramid. At the top of the pyramid is the NBA. It's only 15 slots a year, right? 12, 13 players may make it. But at the bottom of the pyramid is every 6, 7-year-old, 8-year-old with aspirations. And then on the next level, it's the AAU. Yeah. And then it's the high school. And then it's the college. In between all of that is sporting goods stores, selling you basketballs. These are the things that fuel the top of the pyramid, because everybody's focus and energy is to try to get there.
Right.
But only the cream of the crop will get there. But yet an entire industry is created. And the NFL, the college, all of that's a part of that. Same thing with the hip-hop industry. All of you guys ain't gonna make it, but we go to Sam Ash, we buy microphones, you're doing this, you're doing that. Those are the ones at the bottom. The next level might be the producers. Up here might be the video directors, up A&R directors. It's all a pyramid, but at the detached part of it is the cream of the crop. Those who make it. So understand what's going on. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, not just in college. Think about high school.
Yo, I told you they were following this. He was like number 8 in the ESPN 100.
Okay.
And he wanted to go to Kentucky, but they had
basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
They wound up. It was a sport, a brand rep. They had his voice disguised and things like that. And he was talking. He goes, "Yo, all we have to do is get next to these next rising stars." He said, because now with social media, people follow them just as much as they follow actual NBA players.
Absolutely.
Right? He said, so all we got to do is get them wearing Nike, get them wearing Under Armour.
Absolutely.
And maybe, sponsor their team, like we'll give their team some stuff.
Big business.
And that's worth more marketing than they can really.
It's big
worth,
business.
Yes.
I think they had Stephon Marbury on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 14. He was a phenom at 14. Right? Now they're going younger than that.
Yeah.
Because of social media. And if we see, this is why they don't worry about the future. Because they control the present. They already know we're going to ride this kid. Let's keep this kid safe, because he's going to make us a lot of money. And not just individual people going to make money. The industry itself makes money. Right? We are the raw materials. And we have to start taking control more of we need to manufacture our own shit a little bit more.
The way they have a monopoly on the human body, basically.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we're making all of this money off of you, but you can't make a dime. Like, you don't even own your name. You can't get money for your signature.
And it became real prevalent when the Fab Five in Michigan with Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and them guys right there who brought in the baggy shorts, the high socks. And they were looking in these stores and seeing things that they manufactured or they brought, and they could barely pay their rent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Remember they shut down the NCAA games because one dude sued because they didn't have their last names in the game. They just had like numbers.
Right.
But in one of the bios, he found his number and it was just like him.
It's his likeness.
Yeah, he was just like, yo,
O'Bannon, I think he played for UCLA.
Yeah, he was just like, yo.
And he sued them, right?
Shut that whole thing down.
Because now you're making goddamn video games with my likeness in it.
And I can't get paid off.
And I can't get paid. So we have to begin to understand we are the raw material. Do not let somebody come in and take advantage of the raw material. We have to be smarter than that in this day and time.
Yeah.
Now, I always say, I always give you my 400-year spiel. They're 400 years ahead of us in terms of understanding how this works. Doesn't mean that we have to take 400 years to catch them because time is an illusion. We're in a different time. We're in the quickening. But the first 400 years out of bondage is very critical because we do not even understand the principles of how this is set up. And they have set it up as dragnets to catch everything that comes their way and turn the shit into something lucrative for them. And a lot of our artists and basketball players and, you know, athletes die broke. Yeah. So you have to big up Shaq and LeBron and them. And remember, they're taking a different route.
Executive produced by LeBron. So.
This was executive produced by LeBron. You need to go see it.
He didn't even play college ball, but the fact that he
understood.
Yeah.
Now, like I told you before, we got to be careful with this because now LeBron is tapping in to uncharted territory, pulling the skirt up on something the NCAA. Not that he's pulling the skirt up because everybody's been talking about it, but now he's going to give you an in-depth look at what's going on.
But what can you do? Because the NCAA, especially for football, it's only one way to get to the NFL, really.
Right, absolutely.
They had some dude on the documentary. He said he only knows about one person who ever got to the NFL without playing college football or college sports in general.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So.
And what was that player who was trying to do that? He had played only 2 years for Ohio State.
Maurice Claret.
Yeah.
Maurice Claret.
Yeah, Claret. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Oh, somebody mentioned it. So you know who I'm talking about. And as a result of that, he couldn't get it done because you got to play 3 years.
Maurice Claret, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So, you know, we have to manufacture our own.
Yeah, but everybody keeps trying to do it. LeVar Ball tried to do it. They tried to do it with this other football league, or 2 other football leagues that I haven't seen anything about.
Yeah, you know why? Because the NFL wasn't built in 1 year.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to have enough money, and this is what I be telling people. I'm not against LeVar Ball, but he's got to have long money because his league has to be able to sustain ups and downs for about 10 years. And then when they see this league is not going nowhere, now it's going to be here. Then it'll have an upswing where you'll start seeing players like this is a household name. It's not going to happen overnight. And they know that. So if you got short money, they get
then with his, it's flawed because his whole motivation is his sons.
Absolutely. So that's flawed in itself.
It's flawed in itself because once they age out or they...
Right.
Then what happens to your league?
Will the motivation still be there? Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So you know...
He smacked somebody. You didn't see that? He
smacked somebody recently?
And he got ejected. It was fighting.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So, okay. All right. So,
LaMelo.
Oh, LaMelo.
Yeah, LaMelo.
LaMelo did smack somebody. Yeah. That's the...
Peace. This is the Black Dot, author of the underground classic Hip Hop Decoded and Urban Culture Decoded. For 15 years, I've been decoding hip hop, breaking it down, giving you it piece by piece, the DNA of hip hop, all of its multifaceted components. For the next 15 years, I want you to join me as I give you hip hop recoded and we put it back together, giving you its RNA so that we don't leave the next generation lost. But I have to give you a disclaimer. I am not a hip hop guru. This is not hip hop law. This is for pure entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. So before you take the red pill and go with us into the matrix of hip hop, consult your doctor to see if hip hop recoded is for you. With that being said, we thank you for your patronage and we see you on the other side. Peace.